We are looking at how to import an ACH badge from file. So if you are a user that maybe goes through some type of third-party vendor or other process to create a file for ACH processing, and we need to upload that into the system for internet banking to be able to move that through and process it for you, this is where you would come to do that. It is located under Cash Manager, ACH, and then Import from File. So at this point, we'll go ahead and select our file that we're wanting to process. We'll just browse out to our PC, grab the file, and as we move down the screen just a bit, you'll notice that we have kind of a little blurb here that tells us that the file was successfully uploaded to the server. And it's prompting us to select the file type. We can handle a NACHA formatted file or a delimited file, depending on what type of file you're wanting to import. We can handle either one. If it is a delimited file, you would be able to select delimited and move forward in that manner. So this example is a NACHA formatted file. I'm going to select that and click Read File. At this point, the system reads the file for me. It populates all of the file information at the bottom half of the screen. You'll notice I do see a warning there in red that tells me that this file has been previously uploaded. This is a file that I use regularly in this site, so it does detect that it is out there already. But for file information, we can see the origin, the origination, where this is coming from, the routing number, the name of the bank, the destination, if there's an offsetting bank, if it's all going to the same place there. The file information, and then totals, some basic information here. File information is really going back to the NACHA formatting standard, and then the totals, this is giving us a total of what's included in this file. As we continue to move down the screen, we actually get into the file itself as far as the participants, the offsetting account that we're wanting to fund that file from, and then the company that we're wanting to tie to that. So if I had multiple companies established, I would be able to choose my company from the listing. So I'll go ahead and select one. I would have an offsetting account that I would need to pay this from. So I'll just select one of those offsetting accounts in my listing. And at this point, we can expand through each of the batches that we see out here. This is one file. It does have 3 different batches in it. So as I expand these batches, you can see that there are multiple batches in there, and each batch has individual participants that go along with that. So what we're looking at would be the batch listing, effective date, identification number, and then we would have all of our participants listed below that. So if we wanted to, if we're okay with going ahead and importing everything that's in here, we can collapse that. If we have the ability to approve and save our own batch or create our own batch and save it, we could go ahead and check mark the approve at this point and move forward with uploading. That's going to automatically upload these batches and approve them for processing in that same step. So if we do not want to approve these batches when we upload them, we would need to uncheck the approve box. To move forward with uploading, you just need to select the batches that you want to upload. If there's any in there that you don't care about or that we do not need, just simply do not check mark those. And then up to the right just a bit, we have upload selected batches or upload all batches. So upload all batches is going to upload every single thing that's listed, even if it's not check marked. Upload selected batches is only going to upload what we have check marked to select. At this point, it comes back and it tells me one or more of my batches have an effective date in the past. Please update these. So I would go in and choose a new effective date for something dated in the future. And then the screen comes back and tells me that 2 batches have been uploaded. If I go ahead and click OK here, I can jump back to my current batches listing. and you can see that my new batches have been uploaded. They are in a state of unapproved. So if I wanted to open those, edit those batches, or maybe just go straight to the approval tabs, I could do that as well. I'll jump back to import from file, and we'll take a look at a delimited formatted file. So we'll go ahead and just select file, browse out to the PC again, and select a delimited file that has been set up. Okay. At this point, we'll go ahead and just select the file type, which is delimited, click Read File, and from there, we can kind of move down the screen to take a look at some other things. You'll notice that it did go ahead and read my file for me. The initial piece, though, whenever you are looking at this screen and you choose delimited, before you click Read File, you have to make sure that the listing in the screen itself matches the layout of the file. So what we would do is open our example file so that we can see that in the same screen. And we have to make our data from top to bottom match our file listing from left to right. So we know that our routing number needs to be listed first because it is listed first in the file on the most left-hand side of the screen. The next piece is going to be account number, which would equate to receiver account. And the next point, we have receiver's full name. So our next piece there is going to be receiver full name. And then our last option is going to be amount, and that piece would be, an amount in the system itself. So if there are multiple pieces of information that are included in your file that need to be added, you can scroll through the list on the left-hand side of the screen, and this would allow you to highlight that item and move it over to the right-hand side of the screen to add it to the listing so that when we read that file, we're able to read that field and pull that in. This does have to match everything that is in your file in order for the file to be imported if it is a delimited file type. Move this back to the left side, and you'll notice if we scroll to the bottom, there are several options at the bottom that are listed as filler. So if you have something contained in your delimited file that we do not have an option already pre-filled out there to categorize that as what it is appropriately, you could select filler, and that just essentially makes an extra column in the file that we're trying to read and import for you. So I know that the fields in the file all match the file layout of what's actually contained. So I'll move to the right a little more. Amount excludes decimal points. I would go ahead and check mark that because my file itself, when I look at my file, the amount does not have decimal points in it. Number of header lines to skip. I only have one header line in my file whenever I look at it. There's just one header line there. If you had multiple header lines, you could key that in as well. On the delimiter, you can expand that down. You do have comma delimiter, tab delimited, semicolon, vertical bar, asterisk, and caret. Those are the delimiters that are compatible with the CSI file delimited upload process. If it is a delimiter outside of those, our system cannot handle that. It would need to be converted to one of these delimiters in order for the system to be able to appropriately read that file for you. This file is comma delimited, so I'll keep that the same. If this were a process that we were going to continue on a regular basis where maybe we're generating a file in one piece of software and we're saving it to the PC and regularly uploading that, every pay period or, frequently into the system, and I know that my file layout is going to remain the same as far as all of the fields in the file and the listing of how that matches up, we can actually save this as a template so that going forward, whenever you have a file to upload, you do not have to build this information out. You could just simply select a template from the drop-down, and then that would allow you to go ahead and just click refile rather than have to go through building out each of these pieces to make it match your file. In order to do this, all that we do is just type the name of the template that we want to use, click Save Template, and at this point it is going to save my template in the drop-down so that the next time that I come to upload a delimited file, if it's the same layout, I can just expand my template, select Example Payroll, go ahead and load the template, and then we can click Refile. At that point, the system would come back and, again, tell us that the files were previously loaded. And if we scroll to the bottom of the screen and everything matches, the file will be listed at the bottom of the screen for us. You can see that this file only contains that one batch. If it contained multiple batches, each batch would be listed separately, on individual lines. You can expand on the batch, just like a Nacho formatted file. You can see your participants. You can drill into those participants to see other information if there's something else that's contained in there for whatever reason. Again, leaving approved check marked whenever you click upload the selected batches or upload all batches. If the approved box is check marked and you have the ability to approve on save, when you click upload, it would automatically approve that file within the current batches screen so that it's listed out there with an approved status. So if we did not want to automatically approve that, uncheck that. You do have the option to upload all batches, so this would upload everything in the screen, or you can select individual batches if you have multiple listed, and then from there you would upload selected batches. Again, the system comes back and tells us that one or more of our batches has an effective date in the past, and you can see kind of in the background here the effective date that's listed is the 20th. So the system is detecting that the earliest that we could probably send this out is going to be the 22nd, and it's forcing us to choose that date at a minimum, but we have options to extend that out further if need be. So we could go ahead and click Update. The system should come back and tell us that the file has been uploaded. At this point, we can again jump back to the current batches screen, and we can see that new batch listed out there that we imported from file for our delimited example. And again, you would be able to click into the batch name. You can edit the batch, manipulate the batch however you like to, approve it. And for some reason, we were just uploading the template, but we weren't ready to move forward with scheduling this out for any reason. You could change the schedule type back to unscheduled, save the batch, and then when you look at your current batches screen, it's going to list that batch in the unscheduled batches area at the bottom of the screen, just like you see here, where it's listed more as a template.